All right. You just closed a massive business acquisition, your first one ever. Congratulations. You're feeling on top of the world, right? Hold that thought. The truth is, many acquisitions don't fail during due diligence. They fail in the first 90 days after closing. And it's not because of the deal itself, but because of what happens next. Dun, dun, dun. Today, I'm going to show you the exact strategies you need to survive the first 90 days and avoid becoming another post-acquisition horror story. To put it bluntly, things usually get worse before they get better. And that dip you feel, it's called the J curve. And if you don't understand it, you're toast. Hi, I'm John Stoddard from DealFlowSystem.net. I've helped buyers close $33 million in deals and raise $50 million in funding. If you're working full-time or just want to buy a business without wasting years on junk deals, you should watch this video. All right, part one, the acquisition honeymoon, the false sense of security. Look, everybody gets this, but at closing, you're euphoric. You've got the keys, the champagne's still bubbling, but excitement could blind you to some lurking issues. And the illusion of control, total ego, is dangerous. You think the hard part is over. Actually, it's not. Buffett once said, you only find out who's been swimming naked when the tide goes out. And that first 90 days, that's when the tide goes out. And what looks solid on the spreadsheets could be hiding cracks in the foundation. I've had students and podcast guests who discovered 2 weeks in that the loyal customer base was actually tied to the seller's personal relationships. And once that seller stepped out, revenue dipped hard. I mean, knowing what you know now, would you buy that business if you knew that up front? Part two, beyond the spreadsheet, hidden liabilities. Due diligence only gets you so far. You have this certainty about this business. Like, I'm 70% certain I know what's going to happen next. That's not always true with first-time acquisitions. It's not far enough. See the culture clashes on an income statement. And you can't see the vendor landmines on that balance sheet. Ray Dalio calls it the difference between knowing the map and walking the terrain. Have you ever watched a car race before it started? The drivers always walk the track. In one of my students' deals, the seller had perfect books. But what he didn't catch was a toxic operations manager who drove the team half crazy. And guess what? Week two, that guy quit. He was gone. Didn't tell anybody. And suddenly, he had 3 employees threatening to follow. That's not going to be on the P&L in QuickBooks. That's just human nature. Another student found that the seller had been slow paying vendors for years. And as soon as the new owner stepped in, that's him, vendors demanded cash up front. They had no trust in him yet. So surprise, you just lost your working capital cushion. Part 3, the 90-day sprint. Here's where quick wins matter. This is where you got to flip that script. I mean, you can't fix everything and it's coming at you fast, but you must fix something. There's employees, they're watching you hard. Customers are watching you too. And vendors are testing you. Now, if you disappear into some strategic planning mode for 3 months, like, this is what they're going to look like, you're going to lose them. Instead, work on 2 to 3 quick wins. In my hearing aid company, the quick win was customer wait times. It was like 7 to 14 days. We trimmed it to 3 to 5 days using USPS shipping and registered mail. A little more security there. It cost almost nothing, and suddenly both staff and customers thought, okay, here's a quick win. This guy's for real. Zig Ziglar said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Quick wins prove you care. Part 4, avoiding the new boss syndrome. There's a trap. You want to come in like a wrecking ball. Let's cut the costs. Let's cut people. Rewriting policies. Tearing up a culture before you even understand it. If you come in here doing that, you're going to alienate the very people who make the business work. I've seen it. My podcast guests have told me about it. One buyer fired a 20-year office manager on day one because she was too expensive. Guess what? She held a lot of that institutional knowledge. Payroll broke. It was fixed later. Vendor contracts lapsed. Customers left. All of this was fixed later, but it could have been avoidable. So don't do that. Instead, early on, engage with those people. Learn what works, what the seller did, right? Then build trust before you change anything. Les Brown said it best. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Day one isn't about greatness. It's actually about survival. All right, part 5. Why the J curve happens. Let's talk about that J curve. This is what most people miss. When you buy a business, profitability usually dips before it rises. That dip, that's called the J curve effect. And why does it happen? There's actually 9 reasons. And here they are. Number 1, transaction costs and fees. You've got lawyers, you got accountants, you got SBA fees. They all hit before you even get time to breathe. Number 2, integration disruption. Employees freak out. And number 3, processes break. Customers hesitate. Number 4, financing burden. Debt service starts immediately, right? Lopping that cash flow in half. Cash that used to stay in the business now goes to lenders. Number 5, the learning curve. You don't know what you don't know. Mistakes are going to slow you down. That is natural. It's okay. Number 6, cleanup costs. You start seeing stuff you didn't see before you bought it. Seller's personal expenses, deferred maintenance, upgrades, they all come due. Number 7, working capital drain. You got inventory, you got payroll, you got receivables. You're fronting more cash. And number 8, growth investments. You want to do some marketing, you want to do some hiring, you want to do some tech. It all hurts short-term profits, but it does fuel the upswing down the road. Number 9, culture and trust. It takes time for employees and vendors to believe in you. You got to have those quick wins, doing what you say you're going to do. This is why the J curve happens. All right, part 6, how to manage the J curve. Well, you can manage it. You can't avoid it. Like they used to say against Michael Jordan. You can't stop him, but you can only hope to contain him. You can manage the J curve, and you do that through due diligence so you know what's coming. Like ask every question in the world so you understand it, mitigate that risk. And you have a clear integration plan. PE firms always have a 100-day roadmap. Make sure everybody sees this roadmap and the employees too. Give yourself patience because value creation takes time. You can cut expenses in first 30 days, but value creation takes time. Strategic improvements. Get those small, fast, visible wins. Improve employee morale, improve trust, etc. The best acquirers focus not on avoiding the dip, but making it shallower and shorter. Instead of this, you got this, right? That's the game. All right, part 7, your long-term legacy. So day 90 isn't the finish line. It's the foundation. The first 90 days sets the tone for everything else. It's like running back, man. Act like you've been in the end zone before. Create that 90-day plan or 100-day plan. So have these performance metrics ready to go. Accountability, growth roadmap. If you can nail those, you're not just a buyer, you're a builder. All right, let's loop back. The honeymoon, euphoric stage could be dangerous. Hidden liabilities, they could burn you out. You need quick wins, and those are non-negotiable. And that new boss syndrome, try to avoid it like the plague. And that J curve, manage the dip so it's not so up and down like a roller coaster. Don't fight it. It's going to happen. That's how big companies do it. That's how you, as an SMB buyer, could do it too. All right, if you found this video useful, smash that subscribe button. And if you're serious about buying your first business, I can help. Head over to dealflowsystem.net. That's where I show you how to find, fund, and close the first deal the smart way. I'm John Stoddard. I'll see you on the next one.